Hello my dear students, welcome back to Learn Eco with Fun. So in this video today we will learn about the state of infrastructure in our country. In the previous video I have discussed the three important things. First was the meaning of infrastructure, second was the types of infrastructure, and third one was the importance of infrastructure in the development of economic and social growth. So in this video we will learn about the state of infrastructure in India. So what is the position of our country in this in respect of infrastructural development? So here we know that the government has been solely responsible for the development of country's infrastructure. Okay, so who is the responsible in our country for the development of infrastructure? So our answer comes that the government is solely responsible for the growth of development, growth of infrastructure. But this was inadequate to meet the growing demand of infrastructure development. Okay, because the government is not capable to fulfill whatever the being demanded by the private sectors and the foreign investors. So on that basis we can say now the private sector has also initiative. So with the help of the partnership of government and the private sectors, the growth of the development, development of the infrastructure or the growth of the infrastructure possible. So this is the most important thing, that the private sector and the government sector should play a very important role in the development of infrastructure or the growth of infrastructure. So on that basis, if we explain what we find that despite of so much technical progress in the world, women in the rural areas are still backward. So how they are backward? Because they are illiterate. Second, they didn't get the equal right in compared to male. So if we see towards the condition of women in the rural areas, we find that they are still using the biofuel for cooking. Okay, they are also using the traditional mode of production. They are also using the maximum traditional work. They are also using the traditional method for doing the work. So here we find that we have the huge requirement of energy. Our country is not capable to produce the adequate amount of energy. So about 90% of the rural household uses biofuel cooking for cooking. Okay, so point number one, in rural areas areas 90% women use what? 90% women use the biofuel. Okay, so 90% rural household use biofuels in cooking. Okay, so what you find? We find that we have the inadequate production of energy. Okay. Second point, if we move towards that, we also find that long distance the women travel to get the fresh drinking water, to collect the wood for cooking their meals. Okay, so these are the basic requirements. So here we can say walk long distance to collect fuels and water. Okay, so here water is also most important. On the other hand, if we move towards the conditions of water situation in our country, so we find that only 24% people are using tap water in rural areas. So the condition here we find that nearly 76% people are using the water either from the open sources such as river, ponds, lake, wells, etc. And they face the problem of waterborne disease. Only 24% people are using tap water in the rural areas. Fourth, if we move towards the fuels, what we find? We find that most of the people are using the biofuels in our country. Okay, so as a result, so here we find that the 56% of household have the electricity connection, and 43% people of them use kerosene. Okay, 56% people use electricity and 43% people use kerosene, and 1% people use different source. So it indicates that 43% people are using the kerosene. It means the requirement of energy in our country is very huge. Okay, if we move towards the condition of what? Health, we find that most of the people are facing the health related problems, lack of better hospitals, lack of dispensaries, lack of proper knowledge, and so on. So in this way, the condition of our country is very clear that we have the need of huge amount of infrastructure, and on that basis here the India only expends, fifth point, India only expends 34% of its own GDP on infrastructure. Infrastructure. Now if we move towards the sixth, we find that the assist to improve the sanitations in the rural areas. Okay, requirement of sanitation in rural areas. Okay, so a number of people are facing the problem of sanitation, so it is essential to assess the sanitations in the rural area. Still nearly 20%, only 20% are using, 20% have better sanitations. Okay, so here we find that a number of factors indicates that the conditions in our country, basically in the rural areas, the infrastructure is totally backward. Okay, so on the basis of conclusion, we can say that we have the requirement of huge development of infrastructure, but some of the economists have projected that the India will become the third biggest economy in the world a few decades from now. So after a few decades, it is hoped that our country will also be able to achieve the infrastructure and India will become a developed country. Okay, it is also told that India will have to boost its infrastructure through the investment. Okay, so without the investment, the infrastructure can't be developed. So on the other hand, we also we can say that any country where the income rises, the composition of infrastructure like irrigation or the composition of infrastructure related to what? Related to transportation, communication, health, housing automatically changes, and it increases with a rapid speed. Okay, so thus development of infrastructure and economic development go hand in hand. Agriculture, our country is an agricultural country, so the agriculture also depends on considerable extent on the development. Okay, or it also depends on the adequate expansion of infrastructure such as banking, insurance, irrigations, marketing and so on. So if all these things will develop, the generation of power, generation of electricity will increase, automatically the infrastructural development will take place. So in this way we can say it is likely to act as a severe constraint on the economic development. Okay, so in this way this topic I have completed, and I hope you will be able to write in a better way. Okay, thank you. In the next video we will discuss about the electricity, because energy is omitted this year. So in the next video you will find the what? The electricity means the progress of electricity, production and so on. Thank you.